Yo, what's good, y'all? Back with another video. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. Let's get straight into it. So we got a video of Gina, Diddy's ex Gina. And I think the timing is just interesting because they just reached a verdict in the Diddy case, for those who may not know. So out of 4 of the 5 charges that Diddy's being charged with, they've reached a verdict. There's one charge where so far the jury is undecided. So let's check out the 5 charges real quick and then we'll go through the video with Gina. So here's the 5 charges. The first one, count 1, is the RICO. They're still undecided on the RICO. That's one of the biggest charges. That charge holds up to life in prison. The second biggest charge is count 2, sex trafficking of Cassie. They already decided on that. That charge also holds up to life in prison. The third charge is a Mann Act. It says Mann Act Cassie decided. For those who may not know what a Mann Act is, I didn't know until I just Googled it. The Mann Act, also known as the White Slave Traffic Act, is a United States federal law passed in 1910. It primarily prohibits the transportation of women and girls across state lines for prostitution or other immoral purposes. So that's what a Mann Act is. They decided on that. Count 4, sex trafficking of Jane Doe. They decided. Another Mann Act, that one's count 5 for Jane Doe. They decided on that. So I thought this was interesting. They just reached the verdict, and then now this video surfaces of somebody catching Gina outside of some store. And this is what she had to say. Let's see, Gina, where you at? All right, it's right here. Now, I remember a couple years ago, Gina was saying Diddy was beating her ass. We're also going to play the clip of her saying that, but this is what she had to say today. Let's check it out.
Hi, Gina. How you doing? I have a quick question for you. Do you think Diddy's going to win this trial?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. I've been hearing a lot of stories. Everybody been hearing like maybe you were kidnapped or like something like crazy. Like we just hearing a lot of stuff. Is there anything you can clear up or anything like that?
No, I'm safe. I'm not kidnapped.
Real quick, before you go, I just what I want to know. If Diddy does win this trial, do you think your life will be threatened in any kind of way?
No.
You don't think so? You think everything will be safe? Because the girl, Aubrey O, she said that if Diddy wins, she's going to leave the country.
I mean, he never did anything dangerous to me. I'm not scared.
You're not scared? Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. That's all I wanted to know. Okay.
Even the interviewer didn't know what the hell to say. He like, oh, all right, appreciate you. Like, he didn't know what to say because this is so polar opposite to what she just said like 2 years ago. So this is the clip of what she said 2 years ago. And then we also got the clip of, because he mentioned Aubrey O. We'll see what she had to say. That's a former member of Danny Kane, which is one of Diddy's groups back in the day. So, all right. Now, this is what Gina had to say about Diddy 2 years ago in an interview with Tasha K.
Started like punching me like this. Like he avoided my face, but he like started punching me like on the side of my head, and I was just like covering my face. And he did that, and then after he got done doing that, he like, because he was standing, his legs were like in between me, so he stomped on my stomach like really hard, and I like took the wind out of my breath. I couldn't breathe, and he kept hitting me, and I was like pleading to him like, can you stop? I can't breathe. And he like stopped for a little bit. He like grabbed my hair from the back and like was like punching the back of my head, cause he was just avoiding my face when he was like hitting me.
Wow.
Wow is right. God damn. So she had to say that in the interview a couple years ago. Then today she's saying this. I looked at some of the comments. I'm like, all right, so what are the people thinking? So somebody said she's trying to save herself for when he comes home. Somebody said she legit did an interview saying he stomped on her stomach and caused her to lose a baby and abused her. You can see it in her body language. That girl is scared. Okay. Somebody said, I feel like she's just saying that so she won't get harmed. Somebody said, she said, don't confuse me with the other Asian girl. Somebody said, didn't he stump on you like a roach when you was pregnant? Somebody said, she paid this man to interview her. They trolling. Somebody said, so she vanished during the trial and now she magically appears. Laugh my ass off. That is really interesting. Throughout the whole trial, she has not been here. Once they reach a verdict, now all of a sudden somebody catches her outside the store. That's crazy timing, right? Somebody said, somebody cue in the interview she did with Tasha K talking about how she was abusing her. They gotta get their stories together. That's what I just showed y'all. That's the first thing I thought was, all right, let's pull this up. Somebody said, leave that damn girl alone. He paid all her bills. She not going against him. Okay. So maybe that's what's going on. Maybe they were on bad terms when she did the interview, and now she's dialing back because she's like, hey, I still want to fuck with him when he gets out. He is still currently paying some of my bills, so she want to dial it back. That comment right there makes a lot of sense if that's what's going on, because I was really confused. I didn't really get it. So she said that, and then now let's check out what Aubrey O had to say. This is her thoughts on if Diddy gets released. She ain't hold back.
Found guilty on at least something. How does that make you feel?
I'd feel best if he was found guilty on everything.
And if he walks free?
She want that man to go to prison for life.
I don't have that in the range of my possibility thoughts right now. I don't believe that that would happen. If it does, though, I'm gonna buy a ticket to Bali like I did the last time I couldn't do this country anymore.
Okay, I was gonna say, do you fear at all for your safety or what life looks like if he is back out in the world?
I fear for the messaging that we're going to be giving any newcomers in the industry. And by the way, entertainment is the one that's glamorized and that stands out the most, let's say. Yeah. She's the it girl. Politics is a little bit over to standing right on our neck. But we're...
If he is...
Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you, Aubrey O, yeah, it's looking like you're about to be buying a ticket to Bali. As far as I'm concerned, Diddy is coming home. Diddy is getting out tomorrow. He's been in there since September. Every time I've looked into something with the Diddy trial, bro, I don't think they're proving that this man is sex trafficking. I don't think they're proving racketeering. It just doesn't seem like it to me. It seemed like the things that he's guilty of, which are still foul things, would be stuff like being abusive. That's super foul. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's clearly guilty of that, but we already knew that when we saw him dragging Cassie up the street, dragging her up the hotel and throwing glass vases at her in the hotel, hallways. We already knew he was putting his hands on girls, right? That's super foul. I don't agree with that whatsoever. I don't think guys should be putting their hands on girls. I don't think girls should be putting their hands on guys. I don't identify with it whatsoever. So we know he's guilty of that. But this isn't really what the case is about. The case is about sex trafficking, and the case is about racketeering. Those things, I don't know if they prove that. Because once we saw those text messages a couple weeks ago with Cassie asking him for the freak off, she like, oh, I want to have a freak off today. She's saying it like it's just regular, like she wanted to go have lunch. I'm like, oh, okay. And they were basically saying like, oh, she was trying to do that to get in his good graces. But even if that is what she was doing it for, she's still asking to do it. So he isn't really forcing her to do anything. So, as far as him being guilty of things, I think they found him guilty of being a woman beater, obviously, but they had that before. And then as far as him being gay, like Diddy clearly didn't want people to know he was gay. So they found him guilty of that, but that's not a crime. So other than that, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, y'all got him. Y'all embarrassed him. Yeah, he likes to have nipple, what was he doing? He was getting cum on his nipples. That's crazy, right? You feel me? Nobody expected that. He's guilty of that. But as far as everything else that they're saying, I just don't know if they prove that. And when you're going to sentence somebody to life in prison, and when you're really, you're, as a juror, you have to literally say, without a shadow of a doubt, I believe X, Y, and Z. I don't think any of those jurors up there are going to be like, you know what? yeah, he was sex trafficking. You know what? Yeah, this is a RICO. I don't think they're gonna be able to say that. I think it's gonna be that little, even if it's a little bit, if they're 50-50, whatever, but even if it's that little 10%, 5% in their mind, as a juror, you're supposed to say that you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to convict the person of something if there's anything in your mind saying otherwise. So if they're doing it the right way, as far as I'm concerned, I think Diddy's getting out tomorrow. So y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll post a poll voting on. So it's gonna be three options. So it's gonna be: do you think Diddy's gonna come home tomorrow? Do you think he's gonna spend the rest of his life in prison, or do you think he's gonna spend like another few years in prison, or like maybe house arrest? We'll go ahead and we'll do that poll. So I'll go ahead. I'll post that in a couple minutes. Y'all go ahead and vote. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. Shout out to everybody that keeps supporting the channel. I really appreciate y'all. Until next time, I'm out.